So I just bought $10,000 of a stock I've been really waiting for. And I wanted to share this with you guys. So I actually just shared this with my Learn Plan Profit group. I shared with them my plan. One of the first things that I want to remind you is that do I see Tesla to recover right away, right? I just bought 13 shares of Tesla. That's a market value of $10,000. That's a 10% position size for me. So my intention is to invest $100,000 into Tesla. A 10% position is $10,000. That's like you trading with $1,000 and buying $100 worth of a stock perspective, right? Do I expect Tesla to recover right away? My simple answer, no. What is my intention with Tesla? My intention is to hold it for as long as I need to for it to indicate signs of recovery with still having some form of risk management in place. And I'm going to be sharing my entire trade plan with you. And one of the biggest questions that I've been getting, especially if you're someone that's an absolute beginner, is Ricky, like buying Tesla right now is so risky, right? Just like buying anything. Buying anything right now is super risky. I agree with you. If you are an absolute beginner, if you are uncertain of current conditions with Russia and Ukraine, with inflation, with interest rates, I'm never here to convince you to buy just because I buy. I'm not like other people on YouTube. I can care less. I would even encourage you to wait for confirmation. I do think that there is great potential in market recovery, so the deals are now, but I'm never going to convince a beginner that you should buy just because I buy. I would love to see you set alerts on the stocks that you see value in and follow up with them when they begin to indicate signs of recovery. I'm right there with you, but I'm just here to share my plan. So I hope that it earned your thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. I've been waiting for Tesla to hit the low $100 price point. One of the first things that I wanted to share is TQQQ and Tesla, the way that they look so similar. It's not just Tesla that's selling off. It's not just the market that's selling off. Everything, right? Tech related is selling off today. The market is down. One of the first things that, again, I always try to ask myself, is it just the stock that I'm invested in that's selling off? That would be bad news, right? Or is it overall market sentiment, right? Is it because of what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, right? Is it because of interest rates and inflation rates and COVID, the market is not doing well? If that's the case, that's a factor that's influencing all markets, right? At least all of tech. So I can't be upset with myself when it's something that's affecting the entire market as a whole. It just means that I have to be able to tolerate it. And that's exactly what this whole video is about. I'm going to share with you my plan, and then I have a very, in my opinion, powerful message and you can let me know in the comment section what you guys think. One of my favorite things to do is to kind of plan out my trade. I love to break down and explain why I see potential in something. I don't need you to agree with me. At the end of the day, it's my money, right? And I'm going to choose to invest in it, invest it the way that I want to, just as you should as well, right? Our job as investors and entrepreneurs is to put money in areas in which we see value or we see the deals to be at, to be able to sell it for a profit. As you guys can hear, we could hear Remy crying to my newborn. But I want to share my trade plan with you guys. So this is on the overall day chart, right? My support, the support level that I see based off of previous support levels, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to, is $800. Resistance level, $1,300. That puts into perspective my support level and my resistance level based off of oversold levels and overbought levels, right? That's kind of the range that Tesla's been trading at pretty much for like the past year. So with that being said, that's about, if I'm not mistaken, from top to bottom, a little bit over 55%. So this is where we get the potential ROI, 55%. That's where I get that from. 800 support, resistance, 1,300. My entry point, I wanted to show you guys this. My average entry point on Tesla is 805.27. So I put my entry point as 805. I've been really waiting for Tesla to hit the low 800s. And with that being said, it finally hit. And it's not that I went all in. I still wanted to do this in a very moderate way, right? So my intention is to buy more to average up, not to average down. Meaning that once and if it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, I will buy more Tesla until it becomes overbought, and then that's where I will begin to lock in profits. My current position size is one of the most important things that we talk about within Learn Plan Profit. Again, when taking into consideration what's going on with the market right now, how bearish the market is, how much worse it could potentially get, I agree with you. there's a specific opportunity that's presenting itself. It doesn't mean that the market has to recover. So because of that, one thing that I do to manage and mitigate my risk is I watch my position size. Instead of going in with $100,000 and crossing my fingers and hoping that the market recovers, I buy 10%. Again, if you're an absolute beginner, I would even encourage you to not even buy 10% and to simply wait for confirmation. That's a little bit more on the conservative side, which again, if you're new to this, don't put yourself in a position to fail. If you can't manage your risk, if you can't accept a loss, then don't buy when the market's still selling off. I think that's pretty straightforward. My max loss is I am willing to risk 10% of my 1/10 position size. So 10% of my 10%, meaning that because my position size is so light in Tesla right now, because I didn't buy $100,000 of it just yet. That's my plan. I plan to average up into Tesla, right? But because I only bought $10,000 worth of it, I'm giving myself, because I have a lighter position, more cushion. So I'm okay with risking 10% of the $10,000, which is $1,000. That means that if we take a step back, because I took a light position from where we're at right now, it can continue and continue to drop to lows of, what is it going to be exactly? Around 715. And let's be honest. If it drops to 715, I think we got bigger issues. If I take a $1,000 loss, that's okay, right? If I choose to average up and things begin to go according to plan and then I go in with $100,000, my potential upside is 10x of my downside risk of the $1,000. And that's what I like to put into, perspective. I like to take advantage of opportunities that I see to be fit. Am I right 100% of the time? Heck no, which is again why I always try to encourage people to be more conservative, especially if they're just getting started. I'm simply sharing my plan with you, and I thought I would do it on YouTube, breaking it down. With that being said, one of the messages that I wanted to share with you guys is the thing that I'm most excited about is I'm so happy to see to some degree Tesla at $800. I'm very happy to have began my position in Tesla, and I'm excited to average up into it. And yes, it is a riskier trade, right? Anytime that you open a position in the market, it's a risky trade. Right now, with all the tension, with all the uncertainty, it's a risky time. But one of the things that, again, a lot of beginners might not understand is everyone has something to complain about. They're like, oh, well, Ricky, it's risky because we still don't know exactly what's going to happen. I agree with you, right? It's risky because, inflation and interest rates. I agree with you, right? You don't begin to do well in life by avoiding risk. That's nonsense, right? You begin to do well in life when you begin to manage risk. And I think that's the biggest difference. Look back at every time you failed and that you failed miserably. It's not because you took the risk, it's because you didn't manage risk appropriately. Position size, having an exit plan of your max loss or max dollar loss or max percentage loss, things to put things into perspective to implement structure and discipline. And that's my biggest encouragement for all of you. Ignore the stock that I invested in. I'm just using that as a proof of concept. I want to make sure that moving forward, especially during this very uncertain time, if you choose to take advantage of any opportunity, it's not just that it's risky, that it should scare you, but it should empower you to take time, plan out that trade, plan out that investment, and manage and mitigate that risk. Not just for the good, but also if things go south. As again, there's never going to be a perfect trade in every market, right? So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Again, I would love to invite you to one of my live trading sessions. I trade live every morning exclusive to my Learn Plan Profit group. And if you want to join us as soon as tomorrow, click the second link down below. And again, we are offering a $50 off coupon right now. So if you want to learn more about it, again, click the second link down below. I hope that you learned something new. I hope that this video not only empowers you to take advantage of opportunities, but empowers you to do it in an effective way. Not to avoid risk, but to simply manage it. I appreciate you guys' time, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.